Wow, you read all these books?
Yes, I'm now the smartest person in the world.
Really?
Yes. Who else can claim to have read all these books?
Okay, Mr. Smarty Bridges. Well, what has all this book reading done for you?
It has made me smart.
How?
It has taught me all the important things in history.
But what has that done for you?
It's important.
But how does that help anyone?
How about a taught me chemical makeup of bleach?
Oh, so that you can make bleach.
No. But I know the chemical makeup of bleach.
Okay, but why does that matter? Okay, so why does that matter? But...
So you mean I read all these books for nothing?
Hey, Mr. Smarty Bridges. Smartest person in the world, remember?
But it didn't do anything for me. So have you ever met somebody who has this problem? They read a lot of books and take a lot of courses, but never actually do anything with the knowledge? This used to be me, and I can tell you that when you switch from learning for learning's sake to learning with a purpose, not only does learning become more fun, it also becomes easier. Don't believe me? Let me give you an example. This here is the first notebook I ever started studying outside of school with. As you can see, it's got a lot of notes in there, but I never actually used any of it. I just took all the notes on it. Years later, after I learned this lesson, I came back to that same book and read it again, this time only taking notes on what I was going to use. Those notes went in this notebook. But they didn't fill up the entire notebook this time. Instead, I only used about that much. It's kind of disappointing, isn't it? There's just not as much material here. But I have a question for you. Which one do you think it would take you longer to learn? All of this or that? Kind of eye-opening, isn't it? Now that's great and all, but what about this has actually changed my life? For this, let's go to a different class. I'm going to assume that most of you at some point in your life took economics, and let's assume, like me, you made an A. This means I can assume you know about 90% of the material that the economics class had. Now I have a question for you. Out of all that material you went over, how much of it have you ever used? My guess is if you're like me, none. Now, a couple of years after I took that economics class, I went and took a class on budgeting from a guy who teaches this a lot. I think he actually went on to become a billionaire. In that class, I learned 3 things that I should do at the point I am in my life right now. Those 3 things were, 1, give every dollar a job before I earn it. 2, invest 10% of my money in high-growth mutual funds. This way, my money is earning me more money. And 3, give. That last one's a bit weird, but I actually have noticed the difference in it. It does seem to change how you view money and your ability to get it. Don't ask me how it works, it just seems to. So let's review this for a second. I had one class that had a big, thick frickin' textbook filled with all of this information and terms and concepts and all the stuff that it took me about a year to memorize. This other class had about 3 things. One class did nothing for my life. The other class has made me relatively financially successful. One class was taught by a broke, debt-ridden professor. The other class was taught by a billionaire. Which one do you want to take? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you'd like more great content like this, you can find it at my blog, studylessplaymore.com, link in the description below. And remember, study less, play more.